Time now for a bright spot, though.
I'm doing all right, getting good grades. The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades.
Well, every year, Cars.com puts out a list of the most American-made cars. Made in America.
Most American-made cars.
Right. So even if a car is manufactured in America, most of its parts could come from outside the country.
It's just assembled here.
Right. Yeah. So would that be an American-made car or not? You see what I'm saying? So Cars.com keeps track of how much of your car was actually made in the USA by Americans.
Well, General Motors is probably at the top of the list. I would think. Maybe Ford. I mean, how much more American can you get than Henry Ford and the Model T?
Well, here's the top 10 list of the most American-made cars. You ready?
Okay.
Number 10, the Toyota Tundra.
The what?
The Toyota Tundra. It's the 10th most American-made car.
Toyota?
Yeah. Number 9, the Honda Passport. Number 8, the Honda Pilot. Number 7, the Honda Odyssey. Number 6, the Honda Ridgeline.
Wait a minute. You mean the Japanese love this country more than Americans?
Well, more than a lot of them. How about, let's get to the top 5. You like the top 5 better. Number 5, the Chevy Corvette. Now, that's an American car,
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah. The Tesla Model Y comes in at number 3.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Number 2, oh, I'm sorry, number 4. I skipped number 4. Jeep Cherokee. That's
Okay.
an American car.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, the Ford Mustang.
Of course.
Does it get more American than the Ford Mustang?
That's a muscle car.
Well, apparently it does get more American. The number 1 American-made cars, the Tesla Model 3. So Tesla had 2 of theirs in the top 5. It's pretty good, yeah?
That's making America great.
Now, you talked about brands. Which brands have the most American-made cars? So I looked at the ones, which American brands or which brands have the most American-made cars in the top 50.
Okay.
Okay? GM had 16 cars in the top 50, most American-made. Chrysler had 7. Ford had 6. Then you have Honda and Toyota with 5. Acura with 3. Tesla with 2. Kia with 2. Hyundai with 2. Nissan with 1. And Mercedes-Benz with 1. You're surprised by some of those on the list.
Well, I am, but at the same time, I think we need to distinguish where those parts are coming from. I mean, to what extent, if somebody adds a nut and a bolt on a part that was fabricated in Mexico, does that automatically transform it into being something? Because without that nut and that bolt, it wouldn't have worked.
Right. So that actually makes it less of an American-made car if it came from Mexico. But if, say, that nut and bolt was made in Pennsylvania and they shipped it to Michigan where they assembled the car, that's an American-made part in an American-made car.
And
Does that
I
make
think,
sense?
yeah, absolutely. And I think it's worth noting that during the Trump administration, there were not just automotive industry companies that were bringing back manufacturing to this country, but just across the board.
Well, that's actually a pretty good point because the Ford Mustang was not in the top 10 just last year. Back in Donald Trump put a lot of pressure on Ford to make more of their cars in the U.S. There was talks about maybe we make the Mustang in Mexico, and Trump said, no, you got to do this more. The Ford Mustang in the 2019 survey was number 32 on the list. They're now number 2 on the list, and part of that, I think, is from the pressure that Trump put on Ford to be more American with its cars.
Instead, Obama, of course, he cowered.
Right.
He said, those jobs, you do a great impression.
They're just not coming back.
They're not coming back. What's he going to do, wave a magic wand? Well, no, he put the pressure of the free market.
Right.
And people say that doesn't make any sense. But no,
it really
allow
does.
the free market to do its job.
By the way, the states with the most American-made cars in those states manufactured. Michigan has 9 in the top 50. Alabama and Ohio had 7. Kentucky had 6. Texas had 5. Tennessee had 4. So we're not just making cars in Michigan anymore. We're making them in more and more states, and I think that's good for the country, too.
And especially more southern states.
Yeah, well, that's because of the taxing incentives and the regulatory environment.
And no unions.
Well, that's true in a lot of those.
Right to work state.